There.
There you go.
Welcome to our regular Piqua City Commission meeting. I have a proclamation to read. Lorna, would you come forward? Okay. Whereas for over 26 years, Lorna Swisher has served Main Street, Piqua, as a hardworking and enthusiastic director. And whereas Lorna has also shown a deep commitment to our city, the city of Piqua, and its residents. And whereas she has established and continued to organize many events and activities in our downtown, such as Taste of the Arts, Piqua Community Farmers Market, Third Thursdays, Rock Piqua, and Rock and Roll Car Show, Down a River, Down a Beer, Rock and River Duck Drop, Chocolate Walk, Downtown Piqua Holiday Horse Parade, Small Business Saturdays, Downtown Piqua Merchants Holiday Open House, Christmas on the Green, Downtown Piqua Holiday Parade, 12 Beers of Christmas, and the Holly Jolly 5K, 10K run. And whereas Lorna has worked with at least 6 city managers and has adapted to their ideas and goals to establish a vital and beautiful downtown. And whereas her office door was always open for either a pleasant chat or a serious conversation. Whereas under her leadership, Main Street Piqua has become known as a successful program that many other cities have respected and duplicated. And her professionalism and passion for the city of Piqua and the revival of our downtown will continue as a testament to her outstanding leadership. Now, therefore, I, Cindy Pearson, Mayor of the City of Piqua, Ohio, do hereby thank Lorna for her dedicated commitment to our community, and we wish her well. Her influence will remain forever with all of us and our Piqua community. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Piqua, Ohio. Cindy Pearson, Mayor. Thank you again, Lorna, for your dedication and love for this community. Moving forward with the consent agenda.
Do we have to take us out of the?
No, we did that. May I have a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the consent agenda. That will include the approval of the minutes and appointment of Chad Henry to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission Technical Advisory Committee. And the alternate for that position would be Kenton Kaiser, Engineering Technician. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is adopted. Moving on to old business.
Ordinance number O-12-23, second reading. An ordinance declaring the improvement to certain parcels of real property to be a public purpose and exempt from taxation, establishing a tax increment equivalent fund, and providing for the collection and deposit of service payments into that fund, specifying the public infrastructure improvements directly benefiting the property, and authorizing a development agreement with Ascend Wellness Holdings.
Good evening, Commission. This ordinance, as noted, will establish a parcel tax increment financing, a TIF tool, to enable improvements to the Wrecker Road alignment to the rear of the properties along US Route 36. And this will allow for the redevelopment of the property fronting East Ash Street or US 36, which most of the improvements are mostly there now. If this were approved, the developer will be able to install water and sewer lines up Wrecker Road to provide the public infrastructure necessary to service the site and connect the improvements to those public infrastructure facilities. The increase in the property tax revenues generated by the property improvements would be captured as payments in lieu of taxes, and under the terms of the TIF, those funds then would be redistributed back to the developer to cover the initial out-of-pocket expenses that they will incur to install the public infrastructure improvements. At the end of the day, the Wrecker Road corridor will be repaved and basically a new street. So not only will it service the proposed improvements along US 36, it'll also facilitate the future redevelopment of the 4 acres to the south. So it's a good project in terms of benefiting the community. And I believe we have the applicant and their team here this evening.
Good evening.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It's nice to see you all again.
Yes.
Your name?
My name is Matt McKenna.
And I'm Kip Wallers with Ice Miller.
I won't go too far into the details. I know that I just saw you guys 2 weeks ago, and you all remember. But I do want to ask that you guys approve this at this second meeting. We are ready to go. We are looking to open in the month of November. We believe that this is going to be a very big community asset. Like Chris said, developing that, it will be something that everyone benefits from. And we're very excited to be opened here, to hire people from the local community, and really looking to moving forward with you guys.
So are you asking us to waive the 3 reading rule and approve it tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? Questions or comments from our citizens? Okay, then I ask for a motion.
I make a motion that we waive the 3 reading rule.
I'll second. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Hines,
Aye.
Commissioner Lee,
No.
Mayor Pearson,
Aye.
Commissioner Vetter.
No.
All right, so we're going to move it on to the October 17th meeting. All right, thank you. Moving on to new business, resolution number R-114-23.
A resolution authorizing a purchase order to Patrick Staffing Incorporated for temporary services for the City of Piqua Sanitation Department.
Good evening, Commissioners. This before you is to allow us to renew the relationship we currently have with Patrick Staffing to supply temporary staff to the Sanitation Department. Our temporary staff aids our crew in the collection of the trash, recycling, and yard waste on a day-to-day basis.
Question I have is, the paperwork you have is dated from 2021, when we initially entered it, and I know it's renewable, but are the quotes for hourly costs, are those the same?
They are. We renew with them each year, and we would negotiate if they needed a price change for some reason. It's pretty standard what their costs are. We did also utilize the second firm that was listed there, but they failed to meet our requirements. And Patrick Staffing has been extremely well received. They've provided us with staff as needed. We've had no problems with them.
How long have we been with them?
Probably 6 years.
I was going to say, I thought it was a long time, yeah.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Questions or comments from our citizens? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Make a motion, we approve resolution number R-114-23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution number R-114-23 is approved. Resolution number R-115-23.
A resolution authorizing the exchange of real estate.
Commission, this item would allow for two parcels located on Steel Street to be swapped. One of the properties is currently owned by the city of Piqua and sits 4 lots north of French Park. The other property involved sits adjacent to French Park and is the property that the applicant has requested that they swap with the city. In doing so, this would allow for the property further to the north to be combined with the 2 additional lots that they own north of that one. That's the best way I can describe it. There's a picture in the packet that shows you the two parcels that are involved. And you can see the one highlighted adjacent to French Park. That's the one currently owned by the applicant. And then the one that's 2 properties removed to the north is the one that's currently owned by the city of Piqua. I believe we came upon that one by way of a neighborhood stabilization demolition project a number of years ago. And it really serves no purpose for the city or the community, for the city to own it. Whereas by swapping these 2 properties, the one that we would receive, there's a little bit of an encroachment there with the existing trail connector that comes down and connects to Water Street. And it's adjacent to French Park, so it makes much more sense for both parties to receive the opposite parcel being conveyed. The applicant is here this evening if there are questions. Both lots are very similar in size and value, so the exchange would simply be a land swap for $1.
Am I understanding this is the house that's for sale, currently for sale?
No, it's a
Oh.
vacant lot to the north of the house that's for
Okay,
sale.
so it's not the house for sale?
Correct, it does not involve that property.
Because it looks by this picture that it almost bucks right up next to that house.
It is immediately adjacent to the
Okay.
north side of that house.
Okay.
And at one time, there was another house that sat there that looked just like it.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Any other questions from commission? Any questions from citizens? All right. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number R-115-23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number R-115-23 is approved. Resolution number R-116-23.
A resolution authorizing a construction manager as constructor contract to ATCS Incorporated for Lock 9 Park improvements, Phase 2 and Phase 3.
Commission, this item will essentially authorize Phase 3 for the Lock 9 Park improvements. As you'll recall, Phase 2 was previously approved. So this resolution acknowledges the prior approval and then adds to it the approval for Phase 3, bringing it to the total dollar amount that's included in the resolution of 5.8. That includes both the 2.6 million that was previously authorized for Phase 2, which includes the contingency amount, and then the $3,011,543 that would be for Phase 3, which also includes the contingency amount. Happy to report that the contractor, ATCS, who is currently constructing Phase 2 and would also be the contractor for Phase 3, has been performing at a very good level. We're very pleased with what they're doing. Their project management and the work that's been completed has been of a good quality and workmanship, and we're excited to be able to turn them loose on the Phase 3 so as not to delay any of the progress occurring on the project. And they're eager to keep moving forward. Happy to answer any questions.
The total cost for all, the whole project is 5.8.
The 5.8, which is the funding that was previously authorized, and that's all in with contingencies and the debt servicing cost that goes with that. So we very well, the work in Phase 2 is on budget. So our goal is to come in, obviously, on budget or under budget if we can, which would reduce that number. But we've got that contingency in there if the need arises.
Okay. And Phase 3 would include the addition of the pavilion, the water feature,
Correct.
and the Lock 9 wall,
The entire rest of the
the
project.
rest of it.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
This is the final phase.
Any other questions, comments? Any citizen question or comment?
Jeff Grimes, 1314 Maplewood Drive. So the city's spending millions on this project. How are we going to get our money back? How will you have a return on investment on millions and millions of dollars? Is there going to be a fee for the bicycle traffic? You passed ordinance in one reading that increased our license plates $5. So are you going to license bicycles to pay for this? I'm not against improving our city, but how are we ever going to pay for this? $10 million, $9 million, $5 million? How will we ever get our money back? You can only ride bikes 6, 7 months out of the year. You can't take care of Fountain Park. You can't take care of our swimming pool. Hance Pavilion has been neglected. So now we have another project that's spending millions and millions of dollars of our taxpayers' money, and you have no idea how you're going to get this money back. How are we going to pay for this?
Commissioner, if I may. So in the staff report, which I didn't want to repeat what had been said previously, but I point out that this originates from the 2007 comprehensive plan update in which the stakeholders in the community identified the river corridor as an asset that's underutilized and recognized that connectivity to the river and the trail system to the downtown would benefit the local economy and the quality of life. Subsequent planning documents, the Downtown Riverfront Revitalization Plan and the Placemaking Initiative furthered the engagement with the stakeholders in the community and further reinforced that, pointing out that the public investment in this project will generate sizable private investment in the surrounding properties. And I think you're already seeing that. If a person spends a little bit of time in downtown Piqua, you can see the amount of storefronts that have been renovated and or the projects that have occurred, not to mention the intended development of the former used car lot site, which will be a pretty substantial investment. So I won't insult anyone by guessing at numbers, but my speculation, best guess, if you will, is that the return on investment will be tenfold what's being spent in public dollars. And those private improvements all generate the property taxes and tax base that's necessary for all the things that the community desires in terms of the amenities that we wish to have.
So we're spending $10 million, and you said tenfold. So you're saying that this is going to bring $100 million into our community. I want you guys to realize that there's other places in town besides Main Street. And when you take bands or your food trucks, it takes away from other places in town. It affects their business. So you haven't thought about other places that aren't downtown. And I still don't see how we'll ever get our money back on investing $10 million. Can you start a bicycle fee? I have to pay for my motorcycle. I have to pay for my car to do our streets. And so we have no way of maintaining it. How much is it going to cost to maintain? Have you figured that out? How much is it going to cost to maintain this?
Yes, that's all been projected in long-term financial status.
Another $10 million that,
To stand corrected, it's not $10 million, sir.
okay, $5 million. It's millions of dollars, okay? There's other parts of town that need work, and not everybody wants to go downtown. Not everybody, I just think you guys should have taken care of our other stuff before you invest millions and millions of dollars in other things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Jenkins, 619 North Downing Street. Okay, first of all, what's going to be at the revitalization or the Mo's building? Did you repossess that or did you buy that?
Trying to.
It's just a question.
What are you asking?
Main Street, the Mo's, the old Mo's,
Well,
okay?
Chris, you want to address that?
Yeah, the city of Piqua acquired that property from the previous owner when they decided that they were no longer interested. That and another property were packaged in the same purchase, and that owner sold them at a very reasonable price.
You tell me you took it from him.
No,
Okay,
we gave him
okay.
what he was asking.
Another question is, what's going to be down there?
That was his, I thought that's what you asked at first.
No, I mean, what's going to be in the buildings and down along the waterway?
Do we have plans for that?
So I would reference
You
back.
have to have plans, you're already cutting into the hill.
Yeah, so the Lock 9 Park improvements, there's terrace seating that will be in the levee. That's been a part of the plans that have been circulated and out there and before the Planning Commission, the City Commission, and in the community for quite some time. There's the Performance Pavilion that would be adjacent to it. There's the trail that will navigate between the canal lock walls that have been exposed. The cyclists and pedestrians will walk or ride up through those walls, and then that will connect to the street elevation, which will tie folks into the downtown local economy. So the 340 miles of paved trail system in southwest Ohio that currently begins or ends in Piqua will be connected to our downtown economic environment. So the businesses stand to benefit from that. It also leverages the prior investments made in the trail system. We've got one of the most highly regarded trails in the region with the loop around the community. It's a quality of life feature, and if you talk to most realtors, they'll tell you that it's a big attractor for residents that choose to live here. And I think I'm answering your question. I'm not sure what else you're looking for.
So why isn't there cameras on the bike trail? Why aren't there cameras on the bike trail?
I think that, can you hold that for maybe public comment? Because we're talking about a
No, I've got a
resolution
few
right
other
now.
questions,
That doesn't,
Okay.
if it has to do with the resolution, I think.
How can you paddle down a river with no water in it?
Let's get back to the resolution that we want to talk about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to overstep.
No, thank you. Anybody else? All right. Is there a motion? Resolution number R-116.
I'll make a motion for resolution number R-116-23.
And I will second it, and I, again, am thankful that we have local people working on this. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to see land moving and things happening down there, so thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This resolution, R-116-23, is passed. It is now time for public comment, and at this time, it's an opportunity for our citizens to address the City Commission regarding agenda items, issues, or to provide information. Comments are to be kept to 5 minutes, and any specific questions should be addressed to the city manager's office. I will also say that no person shall be permitted to comment twice in this open meeting. There will be no yelling, clapping, or cheering. Yes, Jeff, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Department Heads. So no one knew citizens were complaining about the open burning of lithium-ion batteries at the old water plant, as I heard from the 9/19 Commission meeting. I brought it up to the fire chief by phone call, a visit to him, and at a commission meeting on 6/7/2022. He sent an email to Jason Simon with Rapka and Dayton, dated 2/25/2021. In this email, the chief says a citizen made a complaint on a recent battery test. Chief asked if Jason will come up to site. Chief says he had a video of area during test. On 2/26/21, in an email from chief to the city manager, he says the Rapka representatives told him that they were still within allowances of the permit. He said there was a video. Where is the video? Did Rapka come visit the site? At this 6/7/20 commission meeting, only Commissioner Hines was absent. At meeting, I bring up my concerns to commission, the chief, the city manager, about the blue-white haze over Swift Run Lake, a raw water source. Its terrible smell of chemicals, and my wife and I immediately starting to cough violently when we came up our road. Wind direction blowing toxic plume towards houses, signage not being in the right spot on the bike path. The chief tries to assure me it is fine with the OEPA, Rapka, and he'll put signage on the bike path. Signage never appeared on the bike path. And all the Rapka permits I have seen issued to the chief, 9 of them total, a map is requested of description of area, size of lot, distances to all neighbors in all directions. All permits did not have this, only marked burn site with a red circle and a red arrow. It did not show raw water draw-off, reference to our source water protection plan or locations of McReynolds, Reinauer, Campbell, Kiefer, Him, or Johnson residences. Water pullout is within 250 feet of the burn area. Residents are all within 1,000 feet. The Hampshire Cabinet Company was marked on the map. Via certified mail, 4/10/2017, Greg Butler, the director of Ohio EPA, tells Thomas Benson that OEPA wants to be present at burns in Delaware, Ohio. The reason he wants to be there is because Delaware is where some of these burns started with some of the companies involved with our Piqua location. He puts in his letter, in appropriate weather conditions, access to Ohio EPA at any times, any violations result in pulling of permits and violations. In email dated December 9th, 19, Chief says to Jason Simon, looking to do another set of small battery test. On 6/18, Thomas Benson tells Chief that Amber Hicks of Ohio EPA Southwest District offered, issued Mr. Benson permit, and when he was in Delaware, Ohio, and that he is moving his operations to Piqua. She told him that the Ohio EPA witnessed burns in Delaware and they were good with the burns. Chief has concerns about water being pumped out and cleanup of site in Piqua. Chief tells Thomas Benson that a battery is outside on the pad and 2 are in the enclosed building. Were burns in Delaware the same as the last several months in Piqua? Why was Delaware operation witnessed by Ohio EPA, and to my knowledge, Piqua wasn't? In an email dated 6/19, Jason Simon of Rapka and Dayton says to Chief, I think we are fine as long as this is part of the same testing as before. No inspection. In an email from the Chief to department heads, Warner ESRG, Rescue Methods, and BGSU will be doing testing on 9300 State Route 66. Is Thomas Benson and BGSU involved with this large-scale open burning of lithium-ion batteries? Chief tells department heads, but not to the public. Close the path, close the park, alert the residents. No. On 5/31/21, Jason writes an email to the chief that Ohio EPA will allow Rapka to write 1-year duration permits. 1 year. Thomas Benson tells chief via email on 2/26/19, Amber Hicks with OPA, OK's continuance of burns, let Rapka know. If Rapka good with it, Ohio EPA is good with it. Has Ohio EPA or Rapka ever been to the site? On 6/20, 6/2/23, Jason Simon sends email to Joseph Miller, Ohio EPA Water Division, Southwest Dayton Office, and Sarah Becker, Ohio EPA, that a complaint was called in at 9300 State Route 66 of smell. Jason tells them that permit allows for them to burn lithium-ion batteries on a small scale in a lab testing.
Jeff.
He says smell could be from police training at site with pepper spray.
Jeff,
Jeff,
Yes.
your time is up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
I would like to make a response to all of you with your concerns. We appreciate the passion that you have all shown for our community. This was an opportunity that made sense to all of us with all the necessary approvals. We collaborated very closely with RAPCA and the EPA, and we will follow any recommendations, if any, that are made to us. Thank you.
Good evening, Scott Phillips, 9640 Piqua Lockington Road. All this under the Freedom of Information Act points to information that maybe a lot of you didn't have, because quite seriously, some of these allegations, such as a statement here on the website of the person in charge of the burns, said he was bragging about the size of the burn that he just committed in Piqua. That's not the type of thing on partnership that you work with. And I'm not laying blame with anybody, but what I am saying right now, there are 4 things that I really need clarification on tonight. And I think I'm directing this either to the mayor or to the city manager. And the first question is, what is the status of the burning at the old water treatment plant? Has it been permanently shut down? That's my question. You can answer it, or the
I'd be
mayor.
happy to. It's been closed down since the Friday after the meeting with RAPCA and OEPA.
Thank you for doing that, seriously. And then the next question is it permanently shut down?
Correct. In terms of ESRG operating out there, they're no longer going to be operating out there.
No, wait, let him speak, please.
It's a training facility, and so the building that has been erected out there, we are going to be doing fire training. It's not fire training that has to do with lithium-ion batteries. There'll be an open house. We'll be inviting the public out there to take a look at the facility in the future.
Okay, thank you for that. So that's encouraging. That's going down the right road. The big burns are over permanently. That's what I'm hearing here tonight, so thank you for that. The next concern I have is directed to the fire chief. What is his plan, because I'm sure he has one, that if the mountains of batteries that are stored there were to catch on fire, which does happen on a regular basis with defective lithium-ion batteries, how will the fire chief fight that? Is he here tonight?
He's not here, and I'm sorry, I can't speak on behalf of him. I'm not.
Okay.
Chief.
Well, my biggest concern is that they are to use foam to suppress the initial fire, that I have on good authority that the fire department does not carry adequate amounts in its inventory. Therefore, if the fire would start, it would be allowed to burn out. Tons of material would go into the air and settle into our drinking water supply. This is not a scenario that works for our community whatsoever from a health standpoint. These are forever chemicals. It can't be allowed to burn. And if it is, there's permanent damage to our reservoirs. So much so that we would have to start getting our water from aquifers that are behind Lockington Dam. So let's just paint a scenario here where what if those batteries were to catch on fire? Because there is a risk of that. What's a suppression plan? Is it to use the drains that go to the Great Miami River when the fire is out of control, to use water to try to contain it, and that goes into the Great Miami? There's a 30-inch culvert that goes right there from the site. We've done tests there. It's draining from the site into the Great Miami River. No way of stopping it. That's my second concern. The third concern is, will this burning or the controlled burning of non-lithium ion batteries be releasing toxins into our drinking source water? And if it is, that will not be permitted by the EPA, and it will take months, if not years, to stop it, but it will be stopped. Final thing, because I know my time's up. I emailed you, Mayor, the Source Water Protection Plan. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay. And I see a nod that you have the Source Water Protection Plan. My time's up. Please share that with all the commissioners, because on that you will find all the things that I've talked about tonight are correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diana Park, 4380 Brunson Lane. This all started in a commission meeting where you approved this in January 2018. Nowhere is it mentioned battery burning, yet you all claim that you knew last meeting. We knew. We passed it, 2018. But you forgot to include that. It sounds really good to have fire training and related activities. So the public thinks that. The public doesn't know battery burning. So the city of Piqua and Bowling Green go into agreement of understanding, and they have a 5-year time period. Now we get into the MOU. The MOU, everybody's thinking Bowling Green. That sounds great. Bowling Green's the service provider for a large company that is burning batteries, and they're bringing in companies. So Nick himself, ESRG, is one of them. That's how we got him. It wasn't from a prior lease. It was because he's protected under Bowling Green, and you guys allowed that. There was so many companies involved. And Nick even says he's done 200 in 3 years of large burns, large to medium. All the permits say small burns. The permits actually, the emails say burn permit. Interesting. So now we're into another 3-year. And it's amazing that Piqua is like, we support burning batteries and we support companies coming in. So you got rid of Nick, but you didn't get rid of the problem. We're still in an agreement. We still have agreements out there with Bowling Green, and they can do anything they want. We have Piqua saying, we want to burn batteries. So it's deceptive to say this is over. This is still going on.
That's factually incorrect.
Is it?
It is.
Where's the canceled contracts?
The contracts have sunset.
The contracts are what?
Have sunset.
So the MOU with Bowling Green, is that still in place?
Bowling Green is no longer going to be participating in the site, other than they were a party to the training facility that was erected out there.
And I remember the fire chief saying he would have to apply for an application to burn whatever he wanted, but Piqua would only be burning fire and straw. So Bowling Green can apply. You've got a 20-year contract with them for that red building.
For the red building only.
Yeah, but you're saying you support fire testing there, burning with companies.
I did not say that, so don't put words in my mouth. I did not say it's
It's in your
supported.
contract.
No.
Don't play foolish. It's in your contract.
That is not a correct representation. I'm not going to debate it.
You don't have to debate it. You already did it for 5 years without the public knowing.
I did not sign that contract.
Diana.
Anyways, this is the deceit that continues. So we still have an agreement. We're not out of the woods. Bowling Green, one of the companies, Rescue Method, happens to be on the board at Bowling Green. So we have a Bowling Green person right there. You called this site a Piqua Public Safety Regional Training Center. There's nothing safe for the public about this. Testing batteries, who did the research? Cite some research for me of the effects for this city. 5 years of burning. Large. We know one company that has said 200 battery burns in 3 years. That's not all the other companies. And he personally told us 55 already this year. So I know you're all sitting around scratching your head, but people need answers. That's a lot of burning. I'm not up here for the fun of it. I care. I care. I've met too many kids with cancer. Can you tell me that this didn't cause cancer for these kids?
Thank you, Diana.
You're welcome.
Gary Koenig, 5 Peregrine Place, candidate for Ward 5 Piqua City Commission. I just have 4 items. Believe it or not, early voting starts next Wednesday, okay? There's a lot of differences between the candidates, especially on issues related to the city of Piqua. And there's a web page that's going to be put out, I believe it's Friday, where candidates were asked to state their positions. So I would encourage citizens to go out there and look at their candidate's position. It's called Talk Piqua. Miami Valley Today has talked to me just a few minutes ago, and they're going to have something like that. There's really substantial differences between the candidates on the challenges in the future for the city of Piqua. I'm going around talking to a number of citizens. A common area of concern is utility charges, electric, water, and wastewater. Last week, I went to the utility board meeting, and I noted that the water and wastewater funds have in excess of $10 million. I think the water fund has over $6 million above that they're going to get back in a couple years from economic development. The question I would have is, would this commission consider a holiday tradition of a credit of $50 for water and $50 for sewer for December of this year? I think you have, even with that credit, which will only cost a few $100,000, you're still going to exceed $10 million in those 2 funds. That's, I was aghast when the consultant talking about the TIFs said, it's really your money, it's the citizens' money. Maybe you would consider a holiday tradition. A lot of insurance companies do that. It's fairly common, a bonus. I'd ask that you consider that.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
I'm seeing maybe 2 yeses, maybe.
Yes.
I think we could do that next week or something, within 2 weeks. And the final thing that I'd like to talk about is transparency on the battery burn issue. I appreciate your comments, Mayor Pearson. There's a lot of questions I have questions, citizens have questions. Who do we ask? Is there a website? Can we submit a question? Like honestly, I was surprised to see you there was an aerial photo of you at the burn site. And I understand that the residue from these burns include toxic heavy metals. I mean, was my city leadership exposing themselves? I don't know. I don't know what's going on at that site. Is testing being done? There's a lot of questions that everyone has. Is that something that we can ask questions and get a response? I think you'll find after a while some of the questions are redundant, but that's just a comment. Transparency. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eva Silvers, 319 Third. So, quite a few questions. One is, what happened? We were here Tuesday. Mr. Warner was very clear he would be getting the correct permit. Not sure why he was allowed to operate with the wrong permit. Not sure who was supposed to be overseeing the operations to ensure that they knew he had the wrong permit. Not sure who was supposed to be handling legalities of that, but that's an epic fail. But we're there, and he's going to get the permit, and he's invested a lot in the community, even, and quote unquote, relocated some employees. So how do we go from nobody knew to everybody knew to he's now invested in the community on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, we're all out there, and on Friday, he's tucking tail and leaving? How do we get there? Who is responsible after it leaves the planning commission, comes to the city commission, after these deals are done? Who is responsible for the oversight? Who's responsible to make sure that it's operating within the strategics it's supposed to? Who's responsible for making sure that it's within safety for the community? Because from my personal opinion, there's a lot of derelict of duty that has happened. And it's shameful. Because I come up here and I talk about the parks, nothing happens. Many people have come up and spoke to you guys about the rent, and I just read, I'm just going to touch on that real quick, just read a huge Facebook post about the homeless that's up under the gazebo. Great job with the door, they're drinking under there. But when I read that, I was thinking, we told everybody that when these property developments come in, and their letters going around town, I'll be more than happy to provide any of them. Some people's rent went from $475 all the way up to $775 in 1 month. Congratulations. That's why we have homeless. That's not helping our homeless. What I'm finding is that anything that seems to be the who's who of Piqua can make it happen. Any of us that look for answers are told that our time is up, we are done, sit down. And again, nobody as of yet, and we were just at the September meeting, has come forward and said, okay, you know, it would be a lot better with these people if somebody just stepped forward and said, I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball. I should have been making sure those contracts were legit. I should have been the one making sure the permits were correct. I should have been the one doing that. And I dropped the ball. Instead, we get, and I know what it is. We've done this back and forth thing long enough that everybody thinks that if they just hold off long enough, it'll go away. This one isn't going away. It's not going away.
Thank you.
Mary Simmons, 500 South Downing Street. As we were talking about the agreement where the endorsement for Piqua was endorsing fire testing.
Could you talk a little closer to the microphone, please? We're having trouble hearing you.
Bend it down.
The agreement between joint use agreement, Bowling Green State University, City of Piqua, page 1 of 3. 1 of 3. Whereas Piqua owns and operates the Public Safety Regional Training Center, an emergency response training center located at the former Piqua Water Works that supports fire testing by private companies and training of firefighters and BGSU State Fire School students. Does that not say that you endorse the burning? That's here, and it has Accenture, city manager, 7/27/21. Do you not know your own contracts? I mean, are just denying plausibility. All the things are not adding up here. They don't add up. There are no answers. There are no concerns. Maybe you don't live in the city. Maybe you don't have to use the water. I'm using bottled water. I don't even want to take a shower because of what has happened. I have a young son. What happens if he gets sick? How will you fend off the lawsuits? Because I can tell you for one, if I get sick and my son gets sick and the testing is proven, I will be suing Piqua. I will be suing each and every person involved. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. So maybe this Lock 9, maybe that will fund that will fund to take care of the lawsuits. So let's hope that pays off.
Jeff Grimes, 1314 Maplewood Drive. Have any of you guys lost any sleep? I am livid. You guys are inept. I demand no more burning at this site. I don't care what it is. And I demand you all resign. You've made us lab rats for 5 years. You weren't concerned about it. You weren't concerned about it until the news shows up. Resign, every one of you. You're worthless. You put us, you're lab rats. You're all responsible.
Jeff,
You signed all this stuff, dude.
Chief.
You made us lab rats. No.
Greg Neves, 1012
Tony's
West
out of
Green
line.
Street.
Jeff, you're
McCarthy
out of
just
line.
got ousted. Y'all can get ousted too.
Thank you.
What did you say? I didn't know. I had to just think he was out of line.
This is just, the thing's supposed to happen. Kevin Jenkins, 619 North Downing Street.
Thanks, Kevin.
Where's it all begin? You all got part in this? Are you working for us? Because it sure the hell don't seem like it. We supposed to make decisions. The citizens need to make the decisions, not you people. We pay your check, yours too, and help your farm. And you're another story.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Gotta tell him.
We all want answers. Have you got answers on the last meeting we were here?
You are out of line, please.
Okay, excuse me. Do you have answers on the last meeting that we were here? Just a question. I just want to know. That's all. I'm a citizen.
I don't know what you're...
Why y'all looking silly? God, this is what we get.
Thank you.
We didn't ask for this.
Well, Chuck Starrett, 4244 Deming Road, just outside the city limits. About 5,000 feet as the wind blows from that burn. So I'm within the distance of danger. You heard what the people have been telling you. As the saying goes, they're telling you what they're saying, they're trying to say what they're saying, then they turn around and tell you what they said. But the problem is, when they tell you what they said, you still don't comprehend it. I don't understand. I don't understand what the ignorance is of listening to your citizens. Outside people are taking over your city, and you're sitting there letting it happen. We got a new guy going to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission. You don't live here. He's already got 2 promotions right on the top. He's just moving right on out. Our city utility directors, they were brought in after our local people left. When you look at who's running our head of our departments, they're all being run by outside people that don't even live here. I'd like to have a report of who all works for the city that doesn't live in our city. And I'm a mile away. And I've been investing in this city for over 50 years. run a business in this city for 20-some years. I still own the 2 downtown buildings. And I'm being treated like an outsider. I should be an outsider. You probably give me anything I want. That's the problem we have here. Let's listen to the citizens. They are your bosses, like I said, and you're voted in to represent them, not to control them. Your only duty is for health and safety, and that can be discriminated against with some of your rules. Everything is health and welfare and safety. Is it? Is it health and welfare and safety? That's the next question you have to ask. I don't want to even have to be up here talking, but I think there's some jobs need to be replaced in the city, and I think it's your duty to get it done. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff
You've been
Lang,
up once.
9586.
Jeff, you've been up once. You can't come back up.
Other gentleman just came back up.
No? No. Jeff was on a different topic. Was Jeff came up on public comment. First one. He was the first one. Kevin, you can't come back up either. You cannot come back up. No, I need you to have a seat. Seriously, talk to me afterwards. Talk to me afterwards. I will talk to you.
Hello. My name is Alicia Lang. I also live outside of the city. I am going to pick up where the citizens left off. I also do have a couple questions for our city leaders. Are you prepared to resign today?
I'm not resigning.
Are you going to resign today?
No, but what I want
Okay.
to do is shut down public comment right now.
Well, are you going to resign
No
today?
more comments. Please have a seat. We will move on to the city manager's report at this
I have no report this evening.
right?
She shut down public comment. You have to sit down. I'm sorry. I wasn't you, I know. Let's have a seat.
Commissioners' comments.
All right, we will have at this time commissioners' comments.
Has the water
Vice
been
Mayor Lee.
tested?
It is. I drink
Water's
water.
been tested.
Mayor Pearson, I'll make my report. I do want to thank Lorna Swisher for her years with Main Street and what she has done for our city. And just a reminder that homecoming is this weekend at the high school. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Just keep going.
The Ward 4, Chris Grissom resigned at our last meeting, and his seat is now open. So if any of Ward 4 citizens are interested in filling his seat, you may apply online. You must apply by October 31st to fill that position. Thank you. Jim?
Okay. Want to continue to talk about a first-time homebuyers project. I'm absolutely convinced that one of the significant issues in my ward is home ownership and the fact that we have the highest number of rentals that are in the city. And I'm hoping that we can put together the first-time homebuyers project and put that out, because I think homeowners take better care of their property, and that we want to encourage home ownership. I want to say that we are making progress with our spay and neuter project for cats. I understand that we have spayed and or neutered almost 100 cats at this point in time. And as I move around the neighborhood, one of the chief complaints I hear is that cats are multiplying and doing damage to flowers and all kinds of things. And in my neighborhood, 6 cats have been killed on the street, running from house to house to receive outside feeding. And so it's not a pleasant opportunity to scrape up cats off the street. That's not a good thing. I want to tell citizens that we're still interested in the Hans Pavilion. Obviously, there have been some other things come up, but we'll be moving toward a public meeting on where we are with the Hans Pavilion and the costs and those kinds of things. So that's coming up. Also, want to say thank you to Joe Wilson and the Neighbors Helping Neighbors program. I think that program is wrapping up its activity for the year. We've done some painting for clients who have made application, and we've also done some yard cleanup for some couple people that had significant issues with that. So we're thankful for the Neighbors Helping Neighbors program, and if you think that you might be interested, I think the program is now taking ideas for what can happen in the coming year. And so Joe's back here, and I'd say thanks to organizing and taking care of all those kind of things. It's a very worthy project, and hope the citizens will continue to support that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor.
I really don't have anything to say other than Mr. Hamilton gave us a document called the Piqua Illumination. If you didn't get a copy of it, get it. It's got valuable information that he's wanting to share with everybody, and he would have done that during the public comment, but we cut it out. So got nothing else to say at this time.
All right. I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Did you second that, or was it?
Both of us did.
You both did? Okay.
Did you?